We're back.
We're back. So the last couple times we've hunted in here, we've sent an arrow. Maybe we can do it again. Either way, it feels good. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's see that buck. It's way out there. Tag and Brag Nation, welcome back to another episode of After the Chase. If you're just catching up with us, this After the Chase series is an opportunity for us to take a deeper dive into all the segments of our season. We hope that you guys enjoyed the first episode of a little bit of a deeper dive into our early season North Dakota trip. So after that early season North Dakota hunt, Dean went back home to Ohio, I came back to Tennessee, and things were a little bit uneventful in the whitetail woods. So mid-October rolls around, and I actually had the opportunity to go up to Wisconsin to XOP Deer Camp. XOP is one of our amazing partners, and they've got amazing products. They're amazing people. We thoroughly enjoy working with them, and this year they started a trend of creating an XOP deer camp that we are going to hopefully go to annually every year. So naturally, I stopped up there for a couple days, and I mean, if you're already in Wisconsin, what's another 9-hour drive to go to North Dakota? I mean, I'm already halfway there. We might as well go give it another try. So I called up Dino. I said, get on a plane, brother, and meet me in Fargo. We're going to go tackle North Dakota one more time. I was really excited to go back to North Dakota. The way the season started with so much anticipation and so many close calls on that first hunt, I was chomping at the bit to get back because I knew we would be in the game right off the rip. I was also excited to just get back to the grind with Dino and just me and him going at it. It was a little bit of a different start to the year this year, but now him and I are in the truck again. We're headed up to North Dakota, and I'm really looking forward to getting back up to North Dakota. We know it's going to be a hard hunt. It's going to be a grind. We're going to document the whole thing. I'm excited, and we're bringing you along with us. We are here in North Dakota. Just pulling into the airport. Dino has touched down. The crew, the dynamic duo, is back. We are back in Nodak, baby, and I am fired up. The rain has finally let up, and it's clear. I can see the clear skies coming behind it. This front is moved out. It's cold. It's only 48 degrees right now, and the wind is chucking. But it's gonna be perfect to be able to get these trail cameras out, maybe get a stand or two hung, and just get set up for the next 5 days that we're here. We got 5 days to hunt. It's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be quick, but we're gonna do it. And I'm pretty fired up. Picking up Dino, snatching him up, and getting the hell up out of here. We're back.
We're back.
Good. Drag your bow. Probably right in there. I don't even have my bow in the case. My bow's in the back seat. Literally everything in mine is fucking soaked, especially after last night.
I was so pumped to get back to North Dakota on this October trip. The end of summer was awesome. I was just so busy with my wedding at the end of August. I didn't get my North Dakota fix that I was used to in years past. I was only out there for 2.5 days, so I was super pumped to get out there, focus on hunting, and get 5 or 6 days of a good hunting trip in with Dave. So we went right back to some of the main spots that we were seeing deer in September to get the cameras up. And then we had one food plot, a brassica plot, on one of the properties that was literally the only green thing left there in the middle of October, and the deer looked like they were pounding it. So we had set a stand up right on the edge of that plot, And then we had went and hung a couple other stands in some of our best areas that we had seen deer in September. It's so crazy how fast the North Dakota landscape changes. It's changing by day when we're there in September. And then by the time you get there in October, most, if not all, the beans are off and a lot of the corn is getting taken off. So these deer are shifting around based on what the farmers are doing. The food's changing up a little bit. And like I said, a lot of their cover that's normally there in September, which is standing corn, is getting taken off. So these deer are adjusting a lot. So heading into that next day, honestly, our main strategy was let's get 2 stands hung up that we can see a lot in. We wanted to be able to have good vantage, still be in the game to where we were confident we could potentially get a shot, but we wanted to make sure we were in 2 trees that we could see a great distance to learn as much as we can that first night hunting, because things change up so much. Like I said, when the crops come off, these deer move, and if we weren't right where we needed to be, we wanted to be able to see where we needed to be, and that was priority 1 for that first night hunting. Man, and the weather the first couple days we were there, it felt so perfect. It wasn't frigid cold, but it was cold enough. We had high pressure conditions, those partly cloudy skies. It just felt like great deer moving days, and it wasn't. We just did not see the deer. We didn't see the deer movement that we wanted to see. So we were scratching our heads after the first day there. You know, it's one thing when you sit in the evening and you don't see deer, but the first night or 2 we were there was just nothing on camera. So at that point, we had a big inclination that these deer had shifted quite a bit from a month prior. We went out early that following morning after the first night hunting. We went out to scout. We tried to pick, you know, certain glassing points where we could see at daybreak, and we just did not see deer, a few doe here and there. So the first couple days, these deer really made us work. One of the cool things about North Dakota is these deer are just so unpredictable. They will be in spots where you think there's no way deer will be laying or deer will be just hanging out in. And when you go there a month later, it's literally the same thing, but a whole new set of challenges. It's like starting completely over a month later, and you think you can use all your information from a month prior, which you can use some of it, but it's not all relevant anymore. So it's back to the drawing board, and you got to figure these deer out again.
Day 2 here in North Dakota, and Dino and I have been playing the cat and mouse game, only it's been a lot of cat and not a lot of mouse. And man, we went and tried to hang 2 stands today, and we were like set on it when we left the lodge. Like, we were set, and we got there, and the wind, it just wasn't good. And it's so hard to put yourself in that position, even with less time up here, only 5 days to hunt. Like, it's hard to put yourself in the position when the wind isn't at your advantage, because you have no idea if he picks you off and you never knew it, and then you blow it for the rest of the week. So we were like scrapping and clawing. We literally, after we realized the 2 spots that we wanted to go to weren't going to work, we went to 3 different spots. We went to public land and walked around, and really did not see any sign that we liked. We went back to the house, watched the Browns game. Browns got a awesome victory against the best team in the league, the 49ers. I went outside, I shot my bow, and I was just like, God, like, help. Like, help this decision. We could not figure it out. Literally, we couldn't figure it out. And I don't know why. I went inside, I'm like, Dean, we're going to a spot that we call the Bins. Dean killed Jack Daniels here last year. We really haven't had a lot on camera here, although the layout is completely different, and they just chopped probably close to 1,000 acres worth of corn in the last 3 to 4 days. Okay, there's still 160 acres that is standing. We're gonna tuck ourselves in a couple corn rows, literally sit on the ground, and we're gonna send it. We're drawing up the trick play here. There's deer in here, and I know there's a good one to be had in here. Literally, the first picture that we got in North Dakota this year was a shooter at this spot. We got a couple pictures of him that night, and that was it, and he's been MIA. But he has to be He's been lost in this corn. I know. Like, there's really not many other places for him to go. So we're gonna send it. We're going to get in the corn, and we're creating the mojo again. We did it last year when we were struggling. It worked. We came out with a buck, and actually, we did it last year twice. When I was back out here in October, the first couple days I was struggling, and then Kane came with me. We went in there, and he missed the buck. So the last couple times we've hunted in here, we've sent an arrow. Maybe we can do it again. Either way, it feels good. The mojo feels like it's switched. The brownies helped that. They did. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We're shacked up in the corn.
Yes, we are.
We are shacked up, and we've already seen 2 deer. Like, we weren't even set up yet, and these 2 deer already came out. Guess that's a good sign.
Into the cut corn.
Yeah, and that's good too. I have a weird inclination feeling like
Something might come.
see something coming popping up from the left.
This wind is so perfect though.
I know, dude, it's perfect. Well, and a little bit of the wind. I think they like it better.
Yeah, they definitely
do. We can definitely stay a little bit.
Corn's rustling around a little bit.
It's a little noisy, and it's moving a little bit, so our movement can be masked. Trying to draw a bow and film all this is not going to be easy, but we do have a little bit of the Dino cloud cover coming in too. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that?
That'll be nice for the last hour or two.
It sure will.
I like it.
I like it a lot. I like it a really lot. Yeah, I'm glad we made this call. Already seeing deer. It's good. Very good. I feel good. It's very good. Where the hell is she going?
Sometimes the purpose is unknown. Here.
Very true.
You just see deer walk into the middle of what you think is nowhere. They have a purpose, but
She's trying to eat.
I think she's just trying to find some good kernel.
I think she is too.
I would say so.
Trying to find that good kernel.
She's trying to find that good. Decent buck. Cool.
What are they doing?
They're just going out into the middle of the damn corn. I'm assuming.
I mean, that's useful information.
Way out into the corn.
That was a solid night.
Yeah. At least we did not see just one little doe. There are deer in North Dakota.
Yeah, what do we see? 10?
Yeah.
2 more went back in. And there's 8 out there. Looks good.
Yeah.
A couple sets of horns. Nothing.
Better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, and if push comes to shove, that taught us a little something.
Yeah. It definitely did. Yeah. Corn.
Yeah, corn. They're all going to the corn.
Everyone.
All of them.
You know, it's funny. Dean and I love self-filming. We love being able to
be just kind of in the solitude of nature and stuff like that. But going back in to sit on the ground together, there is something about being in a tree or in a makeshift ground blind like this for the two of us together that just creates the mojo. It allows us to, I don't know, I feel like more of ourselves even come out in those moments. And in this moment specifically, it kind of gave us some information that we needed, that a lot of the deer, most of the deer that we saw that night were all going to the cut corn. And there was corn being cut on adjacent properties all over the place. So it sparked a little light bulb in our head to say, all right, that's where we need to focus our time and energy. And on that property specifically, it allowed us to move a trail camera a couple hundred yards and start picking up deer overnight. So the next day, we had a little bit of a wind switch. We had to go hang 2 more sets, but honestly, the night was fairly uneventful. At this point, we're kind of at a loss for words. The hunting is significantly slower than we had anticipated. Although the weather hasn't been perfect, we're just kind of scratching our head going, what are the deer actually doing right now? But we wake up the next morning, a good buck shows up on camera, the camera that we had literally put up the day before, and now we're gonna slip in and make a makeshift blind up against a water pivot. It's literally the only structure that we have on the edge of this corn, and at this point, we're sending it. We're gonna cut some branches, we're gonna get some shrubbery and some just more structure around this water pivot and hope for the best. With the weather front that we had coming in that night, we made the makeshift blind, and we were going to give the spots that we had been hunting one more night. With the weather front coming in, we knew we were going to have another wind switch for the last day, so we're banking on going into these spots and having a night. It's a chucking south wind today, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's kind of a change up from the calmness that we've had over the last couple days. We actually just got a little rain that came through, which is perfect. Just enough to wet and dampen the ground a little bit, but not too wet to soak me or Dean. But I'm back in the same spot. With this wind, they're cutting the corn just over my shoulder. And I kind of feel like with that in process as well, this is kind of like the next really good cover, I would say. So, I don't know. I got a feeling here. I got a feeling. I love this tree. It's a perfect win for it. I'm gonna give it one more shot here, and then if we need to make a change up tomorrow, we will. But the time is winding down once again here in North Dakota. I'm honestly not even getting sad again. Like I'm proud of our efforts. I'm proud of what we've done, despite not having probably the results that we really want. But if we only did this for the results, then we wouldn't be happy very often. You got to enjoy the process in this game. That's what we're doing. And we got a couple more hunts left, so you best believe we're gonna enjoy it. Grateful to be here.
The wind is blowing harder than expected. That's what he said. It really is though. We got a couple fronts like in the vicinity. We actually got a little spritzer when we got in. And a couple other little storms, rain pockets have split us, kicked it wide. But I like the little bits of weather around. Usually that means deer will get up and moving. I hope this wind calms just a tad, but it might not matter. 6:05, we got sunset in about 6:05, what is it? About 45 minutes. We're locked, and ready to rock. Let's go. It's crazy. This is probably the last hunt in this tree, and unless anything crazy doesn't happen, and then overnight something crazy happens. It's just wow. It's already October 17th. I remember being in here on September 1st, opening day. I had that velvet buck literally right here. Beans were green as ever, and now everything's chopped. Fall is here. The colder weather has moved in. It's kind of nuts. Time flies. You cannot wish the time or the season away, no doubt. Disappear for a little bit. We'll see if they pop up my way. They either come left off the island, I'll see them. If they go right, I won't see them. Deer now in the viewfinder. That buck that we made the blind for today, makeshift blind, was on camera in daylight. That's a good sign. Our plan was to switch up that spot tomorrow with the wind change, so you like to see that. Can't believe nothing came into this tree road tonight, but I saw 6 deer. Tough to complain about that. There might be more than 6.
Well, we ended up having a slow night once again, and at this point, we're kind of looking at each other like, should we just bail out of here early, go back home, and start hunting Ohio and Tennessee a little bit harder? It was just very difficult to understand where the deer were or what they were doing. They were clearly not moving a lot during the day, and they really weren't moving a lot during the nighttime hours as well, because we weren't even getting that many pictures of good deer on trail camera. But lo and behold, overnight, literally every trail camera, every Moultrie Mobile that we had deployed in North Dakota at that time had a good buck show up on it. The wide 8-point that we went in to make the makeshift ground blind for was actually there in daylight, so we knew that the weather front that came through, it worked. It was the start of the red moon. This was a completely different ball game, and now the energy has completely shifted. And Dean and I are like, well, we got to go all in and guns blazing, because this could be our chance to end North Dakota on a high note.
We're just starting to teeter into that pre-rut adjustment, but this was or is technically supposed to be our last hunt, but
you know, honestly, we've been getting our butts whooped by the deer, but we've been working our tails off all week. I mean, we've been scouting early in the morning till late morning. We've just been going all day nonstop all week, and it's been a grind and struggle to find a buck or like somewhere close to where you could get a daylight cruiser going. And I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but the red moon started last night and our cameras just kind of blew up. We probably had 4 or 5 different shootable bucks on camera, which is, I mean, it's honestly insane for how you can go 4 or 5 days and literally scratching your head feeling like, what the heck am I doing, to a complete flip of the switch. So we feel like we're really in the game tonight. The spot David's going to is honestly an insane ground attack. It's a all or nothing type hunt, but it's the perfect night to do it. Wind is perfect. We got wind, so you got that cover, that noise cover and everything. It's gonna be awesome, and a unreal wide 8-point daylighted there last night. So hopefully he's in there still, and David should be right in the game. And then we had a really nice 10-pointer we've actually seen before in years past and earlier this year, but he was on one of our cameras like 4 different times last night. And so I'm going to sit in that spot. I don't know, the feeling today has been crazy. The jitters are there. It's like you have this unexplainable anxiousness when you know you're close, especially with a long week of grinding it out. So we're gonna go get in the bush and enjoy one of our last sits. We could extend it a day if we need to, but I really hope tonight's the night and we feel really good about it. Chilled down a little bit, chucking north wind. Let's go. Ducks are flying.
Handshakes. Let's go. Feels good. And likewise. Good luck.
Good luck. Let's do it.
Let's do it, baby. Let me get this bush.
All right, folks, we're in. We are in. The wind is actually much more tolerable than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be blowing so hard. I'm way up on this hill, as you can see behind me. I could probably see for 20, close to 15 miles anyway. So we're just up on a high point in the county pretty much, and usually get a north wind that stays pretty stiff, but it feels great right now. We got some cloud cover that's just starting to break up in the distance, which I love. This afternoon should be really good. We had a really good 10-pointer right around this spot last night, and it was all during dark, but it was the first time we've seen him since September, and he was on this camera I think 4 different times, at least 3 different times throughout the night, which is very intriguing to me. Most of these deer, they're just prairie roaming deer, and they'll hit a spot or walk by a camera, and then you might see him a mile and a half away the same night. But the fact that he stuck around, I'm feeling that he maybe didn't go super far. He just went to bed down somewhere. That's what we're hoping. So it should be a good night. The sun's gonna peek out here the last couple hours. It's gonna be really nice.
This is crazy. This is gonna be so hard because I have to be away from the camera in order to get it done, essentially. Like, the camera's over there. I can't be on this chair. I'm gonna have to scoot this way, kneel, draw, lift up, and then shoot. It's gonna be tough, I mean, but it's a full send. It's a full send mission, it's a full send hunt. It was a little windier before, which was good because it just allowed for a little bit more movement in here. But we'll figure it out. in the cornfield, and she marched up over the hill and literally came right downwind of me. Maybe it was far-fetched thinking I could get it done in here like this. I think I can see that buck. It's gotta be him. He's way out there.
Oh yeah, that's him for sure. I could see that big ass rack.
Damn, where's he going? That was him, and we had him pegged right. We kind of knew exactly which direction he was headed in the trail camera this early this morning, and kind of had him picked out on where he was bedded, and he was bedded right there. That slough was so big, and he just got up. A doe came out of the corn and joined him in there, and he's heading away from me. I don't know if he'll leave that slough or not, but I don't know what he's got his own agenda right now. I doubt at this point he'll make it to me. Don't think that's gonna happen.
So after grinding hard for a few days, that last night, I finally got eyes on this shooter. He was a buck we had on camera throughout that trip, and we actually had a couple pictures of him back in September. He was just really infrequent, and I finally got eyes on him getting up out of his bed. And the fact that I saw him stand up out of his bed, it puts you in that mindset that, like, I'm on to you now. And that's what I was thinking. And he ended up moseying around his bedding area, and he ended up going the opposite direction that night. But it was really intriguing and exciting to me that he was on his feet well before shooting light was up. And because of that, you know, I thought, man, if this deer keeps bedding where he's bedding, and he just gets up and works his way towards my tree row, I could have a really good shot at killing this deer. And based on when he was on camera nights prior, we had an idea that he was bedding in the same spot the whole time. We just hadn't known that at that point. But seeing him stand up out of his bed was like game on. And that was technically supposed to be our last night. And that night we had other shooters on camera. We had seen a lot of deer that evening. It seemed like things were really turning on. And Dave and I were like, man, how do we leave when things are like this? So we made the decision to extend the trip one more night.
Well, you guys, this is the last ride. I'm grateful to be back in this spot. I was kind of bumming last night. My hunt got blown up a little bit. That doe just came out. I mean, I'm literally sitting there on the ground, literally right here, and the whole left side of me is wide open. And she came out right to the left, like 18 yards. And as soon as she came out of the cattail, she was like, what the hell is that? She would just be stomping and stomping and blowing. And he was on camera shortly after dark, after I got out of here, but that couldn't have helped. So Dean convinced me to come in here and put this blind up. Honestly, we didn't put it up yesterday because I thought it was going to be too much for the deer, but we had already bushed in part of where I was going to sit on the ground. So that structure, along with this structure, I think we're going to be all right. I mean, I feel good about it. We bushed this thing in pretty good today, It's an absolutely beautiful day, beautiful evening here in North Dakota to end the trip. So, and I have a legit shot. I mean, there's a stud in here. He's a big, mature deer, and we nicknamed him Tom Petty. I call him TP because he crossed a main interstate highway to get here, but we have pictures of him on both sides. So the King's Highway, he is the king and it is his highway, but he's over here now and we're after him. Should be a good afternoon. Coyote way down below them. I hope they really don't mess this up. Come my way. Come my way. Come on. Come on. This deer's going. I can't believe that. I don't know what they're doing. I thought they were going to commit right to this tree row and they took a left. You kidding me, man? Unbelievable. There's a coyote down there, and they saw him as soon as they got up out of bed. And I think they're really intrigued or like curious, trying to figure out where he went, because that's where they're going. Well, folks, I think that's going to be the wrap. In North Dakota, they got to leave us like that. But I know if I can get out of here undetected, probably not long after I leave, they'll be on here. Unreal, man. Unreal.
So again, this is supposed to be our last night there, and I get up in the tree. It was just an awesome North Dakota night. Again, about a half an hour before last light, I see this buck and another really good 4-year-old stand up together. They were somewhat in the same slough system, but they were actually way closer to me, and my heart was pounding. I was like, it's game on. They're coming in my direction. I'm gonna get a crack at this buck. These two bucks just had no sense of urgency. It was really strange to me that they were together. They kind of worked this brush line a few hundred yards away from me, and kind of paralleled me, but they ended up working their way up into another slough lake system, and I don't know why, but they did not come in my direction, and I was very surprised. I thought it was going to happen, but it just didn't. They had a different agenda that night. And David, meanwhile, we popped this blind up for Dave. It's a tough hunt because you can't see a lot where he's at, but he ended up going in there and grinding away a hunt and didn't see the buck he was after. But of course, he's on trail camera literally like 7 minutes after David got out of the blind. And he's got a long walk out, and literally I think before David got to the truck, this buck was on camera. So again, after having that night, we're like, this is like, it's so hard when you are that close and you're that far away from home, like you're there and you have to give up. It's something that Dave and I hate to do, and it's a challenge. You feel like you're getting closer every night that you're there, and you have this confidence, and it's the last night. Again, we make the decision, and we're like, we gotta give it one more shot, and this is it. Like, we can't extend the trip another night. We've already done this twice. This is it. And that next night ended up being a repeat of the last 2 nights. David had some doe come out in front of him, in front of his blind, and I ended up seeing this buck again, and he just came out. I think he fed on some cut corn, and he ended up just going in another direction. And, you know, it was an awesome experience to me to be able to hunt that specific deer. I mean, he's a huge, mature, prairie roaming North Dakota buck, and that's what Dave and I dream about, being able to chase bucks like that out in North Dakota. And he taught me a lot, especially on that part of the property that we don't focus a lot of time and energy on. There's a few of these little low slough systems that they seem like there's not enough there for something to bed in. And when I first saw him stand up in it, honestly, my heart dropped. I was like, wow, that's where he's been spending his time. And I learned a lot from it. You know, in hindsight, having known he was bedding there and doing it consistently, I kind of go back and second guess if we should have gotten aggressive and maybe tried to stalk in to close to that slough system and maybe tried to do a ground sit or wait until he stood up out of his bed. But, you know, the last couple days we were there, we didn't have a lot of wind to be able to, you know, give us that cover to get in close to those spots. And 2, he's in the middle. He's in a slough system that's in the middle of a massive cut bean field. So we literally had 0 cover to get close to those grasses and that slough system where he was bedding in. So our minds were, you know, they were in a whirlwind to try to figure out what to do. Like I said, in hindsight, we could have gotten a little bit more aggressive, but I think we did the right thing. We just kind of ran out of time, and it taught us a lot about where big bucks are, where he's specifically spending his time on that property. It taught us a lot about where other big deer might be spending their time on that property, and it made me specifically, very excited for this year coming forward, because you just feel like you know a little bit more than you did the year prior. And it's like, it's game on. We didn't punch a tag this year. You know, I was fortunate enough to be able to punch a tag last year, but it's been a couple years since Dave's done that. And we're eager to get back, get in the game, and hunt those North Dakota bucks.